Uganda, if you had to make a few predictions, who's the next president?
Don't do this to me. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Because I know it. Like,
listen, no.
I know you have to go back home, but
Yeah.
I'm giving you guys
No,
10 years.
No.
And you'll have a new president.
The next president will be our next president. I have no idea. I'm not stepping into that one. No. Yeah. Good luck with that. You're Kenyan. You're easy. You're like, who's the next Ugandan president? Why don't you ask that? Go to Uganda and ask that. Go.
Because we're also getting abducted. So I think even for Kenya, it's been a new experience.
Yeah.
Where like even as we do the podcast, I think in one of our videos this week, someone wrote in the comments that they'll come for you. Just keep talking shit. So we also like in a new territory. So we also don't know. We don't know that. And
I'll tell this as a Ugandan, buy new locks.
Yeah. And also, so I had the comedian Daniel Omara. You know him? So I had him here and he was saying like another interesting thing that's very different between Uganda and Kenya is circumcision is more of a big deal in Kenya than Uganda. Is that true? Because in Kenya it's a big deal. Like,
big deal in terms of what?
Politicians bring it up. So on some random conversation, a politician will be like, "But you're not circumcised," and
really
the crowd will be like, "Ah."
"Oh wow,
yeah."
Okay,
so,
I didn't know.
But
that.
he was saying like in Uganda, it's a non-issue. It's one of those.
It's a non-issue, and now I even find it funny that's an issue here because I find that's so funny that telling someone that they're not circumcised is some sort of like either insult or compliment.
It's an insult.
First of all, how do you know? Like,
it's an
declared?
issue.
Like, do Kenyans have to declare at like on a form somewhere? Like, do you?
No. You
like,
don't
when
have
you meet
to.
someone and you know like how you introduce yourself. I'm like, oh, this is what I do for a living. Also circumcised or uncircumcised. Is that what?
Yeah, no. It's so there's the Kenyan politics, our democracy in quotes works. Yes.
Yeah.
So, but the biggest opposition guy has always been Raila. Yes.
Yeah.
And Raila is a Luo.
Yeah.
So the Luos don't get circumcised.
Okay.
So,
because I was about to say, like, I know it from a tribal thing or a religious thing.
Yes. So with that in mind, the tribes that get circumcised, they get circumcised to become men.
Right.
So be like, this is a boy. So there's always that. So, but then there's always been this one politician. It's called Moses Kuria. So Moses Kuria is from the Kikuyu tribe.
Okay.
And he's the one guy who's really obsessed with that. Like, he'll bring it up, and he'll bring it up when either a president or an incoming president is there, and you see them in the background smiling because they know this is the way to fight this Raila guy. So that's how it's become such an issue that I was actually joking. I was saying that it needs to reach a level where if you're meeting Moses Kuria, you tell him like, before we do this interview, let's just go there, I show you my dick, and then we can come sit down and talk more.
Yeah, I feel like
So in Uganda, it's not an issue.
Because it's like when someone is like Muslim, for example, we assume they're circumcised. When someone is the Bagisu, and there's another tribe I forget. Anyways, you assume they're circumcised because the every other tribe is based on personal preference. Maybe your parents did when you were a kid, or maybe they did, or maybe you did it as an adult. Whatever. Like it's not. So it's never. At least for me, it's never been something that has come up in conversation because I've had family members do it as adults for nothing other than either aesthetics or health, whatever you want to call it. Like people have their own preferences. So I had never really thought about it as a thing that's an either or, because I know some women have preferences and maybe that would be a thing. But like as far as bring it up in political conversation, for me, that is so funny to be like, I can't imagine like being someone being like, you're trying to raise our taxes, you don't know what to do, and you're uncircumcised as well. Like, get out of here. Like that for me is
it's a conversation. Gold. Like if right now if you met a Kenyan and you can experiment this, just go meet a Kenyan and tell them if I say the foreskin misleads, and then let them finish the sentence. A few Kenyans will finish that sentence.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna try that on stage tonight.
Yeah,
and ask someone to like.
Yeah, the foreskin misleads. So now it's a guy called Moses Kuria. He just came up with that shit. So the full the full saying is the foreskin misleads the mind. It's normally some funny shit.
Yeah.
So according to him, like the reason why this Raila guy has given the government, different governments headaches is just because he has a foreskin. So this foreskin misleads his mind and it makes him do crazy shit. And it's just a saying. It's interesting, like to hear that in Uganda this is not an issue. Yeah, like it's a big issue here. So you didn't know. I think the next time you're at an African forum
I love
sayings.
This. I love this. This is incredible. First of all, none of my Kenyan friends are ever going to hear the end of this. Every single one of them is getting a card that says foreskin misleads for Christmas. Like every single one of them.
Yeah, just tell them.
That is amazing.
The foreskin misleads the mind. Yes. So now the
like,
funny thing is,
I just imagine this guy has like an idea. Like someone's gonna make a movie where like a horror movie, but where the monster is just foreskin. That is.
Yeah, he needs to. Like, just grabs. And the monster is just there telling, smell me.
So, just turtlenecks everywhere.
But it also shows you like the way different, like this, we are one Africa, then we are super different at the same time. Because I'd assume like in Uganda would be majority uncircumcised. Or?
I would say so, I think. And again, I don't know.
Or if not, it would be 50-50.
Yeah, probably.
But in Kenya, it's like it's specific tribes. So I think the Luos are there and the Turkanas are there. With the Kenyan Tesos, I'm not sure. Is it a thing there?
No. I don't think the Tesos do it like... it's not an obligation, but like I said, it's personal.
It's personal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think with the Kenyan ones, because now, the funny thing is, now I was hearing a Kenyan politician, the same guy I'm telling you, Raila. You know Raila, yes? So Raila was at this meeting where he's meeting, I think it was Teso women, and he was telling them that, there's some fools who go around cutting women clitorises, and now he says it in Swahili, and it's funny, because they're like, this guy is campaigning to be a president, but we are literally talking about clits.
Yeah.
That's how much we've turned, like, that Kenyan democracy that you admire in Uganda, it's based on genitals, man. Yeah, like it's some shit. Like the politics of genitals.
Incredible. This is I don't know how I didn't know this, and I'm sure anyone who's watching this was just watching me be surprised. Yeah. But I had no idea. Like I understand that some things that people mention, and it's like, oh, this is a weird like angle to go on. Yeah. This for me might be my favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
Like the fact that a Kenyan presidential debate would have a moderator who would have a whole section on circumcision.
No. It's not a moderator. Yeah. It's the politicians themselves.
That's what I'm saying. But like, imagine, because I'm trying to think of it at in American style, like political debate, right?
They'd have that.
Where it's like we're going to have foreign policy, we're going to have immigration, we're going to have taxation, circumcision.
No, not circumcision. It's like, can we trust your foreskin? To not mislead your mind.
How much is your foreskin misleading you? How many of your decisions has your foreskin misled you on? How many of them? Yes. Yeah.
And you're like, you decided to attack the country because my foreskin told me. It's a thing here.
Was that the reason the Gulf War, like now I'm just thinking of global politics.
Yeah.
Like like the revolutionaries of African revolutionaries from Namibia to Ghana to Libya and Uganda, like how many of them, this should be a study now.
Yeah.
Someone should dive back into it and be like, how much of this was based on
the foreskin?
The foreskin or lack of foreskin?
Yeah.
How many of them were successful because they were circumcised? That's incredible. Thank you for this. This is the gift that's going to keep on giving.
Yeah, it's some shit. Yeah. It's such a Kenyan thing. So people get into those arguments.
Hats off. In Kenya, it's a big deal.
Yeah, if you have your hat on, you're a boy.
Yeah.
If you have your hat off, you're a man. So it's one of those, man. Like it's I thought you knew this. No. So because I remember having this conversation with Daniel, and he was saying the way it's not a big deal in Uganda. I was there it's such a big deal here. Like people get into fights. People like get into knuckle fights. Like you fight each other. You have people who believe that any guy with a foreskin can never beat them in a fight because he's
heavier.
No, it's because he's
way down.
He's still a boy.
A boy.
I always joke like the gypsies. So a gypsy like Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
You take that bullshit to him, he'll knock you the fuck out fast. So it's always been that. But I guess we live, we learn. I thought it was something in Uganda.
Nope.